a new wave of YouTube entrepreneurs that are generating massive views and making a massive difference. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the strategies they are using to get views and subscribers this year. I'm also going to be sharing a secret that I learned from Gary Vaynerchuk that he shared at VaynerMedia, and also the best channel ideas for getting not just views, but making money this year on YouTube. But I'm not sure if you've seen yet, but the recent letter from the CEO of YouTube revealed some startling data. And it was this, that because of the pandemic, one of the trends that's happening on YouTube is people are learning new skills. They discovered that 77% of respondents to an Ipsos study said that during 2020, they used YouTube to learn a new skill. Of course, we've been going through a global pandemic. People have been stuck at home, but it shifted the way the world operates, and people are utilizing YouTube for education content, YouTube to learn a new skill, YouTube to discover something and learn something they haven't done before. In fact, this is what it says. It says this trend has grown during the pandemic as we've worked from home, schooled from home, and adapted our lives to quarantine. In fact, videos with the word beginner in the title have been viewed more than 1 billion times since March. What's a video you could do that's directed towards beginners that maybe helps somebody that's starting something that you know how to do? Last year, and this is the CEO saying, I used YouTube to learn how to cut hair, fix my fridge, do more yoga, research Bitcoin, and help with physics homework. And I'm curious, have you used YouTube to learn anything? I mean, you're maybe here on this Think video, learning YouTube, learning how to get views. But did you learn how to fix a dishwasher? Did you start studying guitar? Did you do anything? Tell me in the comments down below. But here, this brings us to number one of 3 strategies that we're going to be talking about in this video. And the first one is this strategy. If you want to get more views, and really the little known secret that top YouTubers and this new wave of YouTube entrepreneurs are using to get views, the first thing is ASQ, answer specific questions. Now you might say, Sean, I think the people who get all the massive views are the entertainment channels, right? The people who get the massive views are like Mark Rober, like Mr. Beast, channels like that. And sure, that's a massive movement on YouTube. The music videos, the Justin Biebers. But there's also videos like this, and you're going to be shocked, like how to drill into your wall, right? That's 1.3 million views. How about this? How to approach a girl works every time. Strong little add-on to the title there. 5.1 million views. RV renovation on a budget, step by step, 510,000 views. How to read the Bible for beginners, 7 tips you need to know, 352,000 views. So a question is, what's a specific question you could answer on your YouTube channel? Again, these types of videos, these education type of videos, how-to types of videos, not only were always popular on YouTube, but the pandemic 2020 has changed the way the world learns and the way the world seeks information. And 65% of people go to YouTube trying to solve a problem. What's a specific question? What's something you could help with and turning that into a video on your channel? Look at this. 5 ways to make money on YouTube with a small channel. This video over the last 3 years has gotten 2.1 million views. Crazy, right? How about this? How to make a YouTube video for beginners, start to finish. And earlier we talked about just using the word beginners in your title. You could see 1.7 million views. And so I'm excited to get into the next 2 tips. But if you're new to the show, this is Coffee with Cannell. My name is Sean Cannell, rhymes with YouTube channel. And we're going to be talking about the little known secrets top YouTubers use to get massive views. And it's simply this, right? It's simply the fact that they are answering specific questions. And there's a couple other strategies that I want to share with you in just a second. But if we're just meeting, my passion is to help you build your influence with YouTube. It's not just that I teach about doing YouTube, but in multiple niches. I've grown different channels. I have all kinds of different ranked videos in like health and Christmas lights and all kinds of different things. I'm just obsessed with YouTube itself, and it's changed my life. It helped me quit my job, and now it's my passion to help others do the same. In fact, I'm most proud of our students. And, you know, these examples of this new wave of entrepreneurs, many of these people have started from zero and gotten their silver play button. They're in niches like faith and food and the keto diet and eye health and parenting. And so I told you, though, and subscribe if you are interested in, you know, continuing to grow your YouTube channel. But I told you I wanted to share a cool secret that I learned from Gary Vaynerchuk about YouTube success. And I wrote a book a while back called YouTube Secrets, and I wrote it with my friend Benji. And he actually went to VaynerMedia and talked to Gary about YouTube. And if you've never heard of Gary Vaynerchuk and you're in social media, have you been sleeping under a rock? But if you really have never heard about him, he's a multiple best-selling author, runs multiple businesses of about 1,500 employees, and is a leading voice on social media. And so we were curious, like, what's kind of your advice around YouTube? And what's interesting is this really reveals exactly what we're talking about. So let's watch this, and then I'm going to share with you those two other tips.
Entertainment, or are you putting out education? Because 90% of people are putting out selfish content. And what was your question?
Completely starting from zero versus somebody that has resources or team who already started building an influence.
You know, it's kind of one and the same. Like, it's kind of like back to something we talked about before, which is like making the best thing for the end audience. I have synthesized my thoughts into entertainment and education. That has become very clear to me, that either you're doing entertainment or you're doing education. And I actually do think that certain people like myself, when you're doing entertainment and education, you can really get crazy. But that's what I would say. I would say to somebody with resources, a 4-person team, I'm like, look, forget about everything else. Because look, I did all my content by myself for 7 years. People forget that. They're like, oh, easy for you to say. I'm like, I'm like, you're not, you know, it's that iceberg. Yeah, I'm like, you see me. I'm like, you know, I'm like, you see me now. I think it's about, are you putting out entertainment or are you putting out education? Because 90% of people are putting out selfish content. Yeah. 90% of people are putting out press releases. Yeah. They want you to think something about them. They're making it selfish for themselves. They wanted to go to Maui and surf, so that's the content you're getting. But did that bring you any value? They want you to think they're cool. 90% of the content right now are people acting like PR agents of themselves. I'm asking people to look like educators or entertainers. Yeah. Do you think about the audience first, or don't you?
Yeah. So do you think about the audience first, or don't you? And are you putting out entertainment or education? And that's kind of the big idea, is the little known secret of so many top YouTubers that maybe you've never heard of before, is they're putting out education. They're putting out service-based, viewer helping content. And what's insane is that because of us working from home more, learning from home more, online school more, is that these niches are blowing up. People searching for how to ride a bike, how to fix a bike, and all types of topics like this, which brings us to a YouTube secret. And it's that the most proven, practical, and profitable YouTube category is education. Now, don't mistake me. There's certainly massive opportunity in entertainment. And if you want to be in entertainment, more power to you. But we hit a question a lot of times. People say, Sean, how does my music channel grow? Like, for all of my music and the, you know, the singles I'm putting out and the albums I want to put out. And I'm like, I don't know. You got to be really good at music. I mean, at the end of the day, you've got to be great at music. However, when you step into education, you still got to know yourself, your stuff, but you only need to be like 1 or 2 steps ahead of people. You just need to help them learn something you've learned. You don't need to have a degree or be an expert. You just need to help someone learn something that you've learned. And if you're literally 1 step in front of someone else, you can help them achieve that same result that you achieved in your unique way with your unique style. And so again, the most proven and then also practical, I believe the long tail of opportunity for people going full-time on YouTube in the category of education is unlimited. And the most profitable, because people want to learn. So there's products, there's online courses, there's Skillshare, there's brand deals, there's so many different things around this. And 70% of viewers use YouTube to help them solve a problem. So people are looking for this information. And so number one out of 3 tips was ASQ, answer specific questions. And if you think about that, think about some of these questions that you could answer. Look at some of these stats. Views of videos with variations of beginner in the title increased more than 50% between March and July. So people want to learn stuff. People want the education, but it goes deeper. Globally, these types of videos got 9 billion views last year. What types of videos? Beauty tutorials increased 50%. Bike maintenance increased 90%. Raising chickens increased 160%. Learning guitar saw 160 million views just from mid-March to mid-April last year. Container gardening saw 6 million views in the same period. Videos related to self-care saw 115% increase in daily uploads. There was a 458% increase in the daily views of people making sourdough bread, right? Like sourdough bread was blowing up. There was a 200% increase in the daily views of recipe videos for bubble tea. How to do at-home haircuts spiked massively in April, of course, during the lockdown. So there is this education revolution happening on YouTube, and this new wave of YouTube entrepreneurs that are crushing it with this style of content, which brings us to the second strategy for getting massive views, and it's RSP, review specific products. And smash like if you're getting value out of this video so far. So the first one's answer specific questions. The second one is review specific products. Have you ever seen these massage guns before? I'm a runner, and for recovery, I like to use these guns. I use them for, kind of working at a desk. So I use them on my shoulders and my back. Look at Theragun versus Hypervolt massage gun, 166,000 views. Another one of the videos, 266,000 views. How about this? Best Christmas laser lights, reviewing specific products, 465,000 views. And we talked about this being the most profitable style of videos as well. This video has earned over $8,000 directly over the last couple of years through affiliate marketing and another $6,000 indirectly. This video, specific products, M50 versus the Sony A6400. It has 1 million views. 1 million views. Crazy, right? Now, we're not going to go into all the monetization strategies. And if you want to learn some of those more monetization strategies, again, we talked about the most proven, practical, and profitable category. If you're curious about how to profit in multiple different ways from videos like this, I have a free class. And if you haven't seen it, thinkmasterclass.com, link in the description down below. I'll break down a lot of cool stuff as far as the best ways to make money. Even if you have a small audience, the mistakes people are making, that's why these videos aren't getting views, and the most recent tactics based on YouTube's newest update. So that's at thinkmasterclass.com if you want to watch that for free. All the details are in the description. But that brings us to tip number 3, and it's TSS, teach specific skills, right? People are trying to learn stuff. Beginners are trying to learn different types of skills. You don't have to have some crazy level of skills. If you're 2 steps ahead, you can help the person just starting, but teach specific skills. Look at this. This Adobe Premiere tutorial that Omar did on the Think Media channel is on its way to 1 million views, right? The little known secret that top YouTubers are using to get massive views. That's a lot of views for something that's super practical, right? This is Mary, and you saw her with the silver play button, how to make homemade apple cider vinegar. She's just passing along family recipes, passing along her skills. This is Nicole from Kids OT Help, tummy time for newborns, 3.1 million views, TSS, teaching specific skills. And when you think about it, YouTube's kind of like when the student is ready, the teacher appears, because people go to YouTube with the intent of solving problems. And so if you're not a parent, you'd probably never need this video. But once you become one, all of a sudden your whole life, for me, I recently became a dad, right? And so I'm Sean Bradley Cannell is almost 7 months old now. As you can see, things are going great. I've got everything under control, right? And so as we look to YouTube to learn what are the best parenting books, how do you get him to enjoy tummy time? He doesn't enjoy tummy time right now. Maybe no baby does. That's the point of Nicole's video, right? Teaching specific skills that people need at different seasons in their life. This is Brent, and he's from Bring Your Own Tools. He's actually one of our Video Reiki Academy students, just got his silver play button. Stamped concrete, right? DIY accent wall. But look at this. How to build a walnut dining table. 1.9 million views. Absolutely insane. Teaching specific skills. And so answer specific questions, review specific products, and teach specific skills. And notice a really key word. Did you see it? Specific. I think that's the power, is that sometimes we just shoot out videos scattershot. Here's my ideas for the day. As Gary said, we just kind of create selfish content. Like, here's what I want to do today. Here's what I want to talk about. Me. This video is about me. This whole channel is about me. And that's fine if that's working for you. But if it's not working for you, maybe consider flipping the perspective and not making selfish content, but making service content and solving people's problems, answering people's questions, reviewing products that people are interested in that you've been testing out, so they don't have to. So for shopping from home, they can get some good data from you, who has the same body size as them, who can say, I'm 6'1", kind of lanky, and this is how the Roan workout shirt fits on me. Link in the description down below. This was a little too tight. I'd go with XL instead of L. That's helping people. Answering specific questions, reviewing specific products, and then teaching specific skills. And so tell me down below too in the comments, like, what is a product you could review in your niche or topic? Or what's a skill you could teach? Even if these are just part of your video library, I want to encourage you. I believe these videos are going to get you more views. And they're actually, you might be surprised that if you really lean into this style of content, this category, and these types of videos, you'll get some crazy results. And again, if you want to go a little bit deeper and learn exactly how to position these videos, title them, and so many other questions, just check out thinkmasterclass.com. And we really go deep into the different ways of monetizing these styles of videos as well. So check those out in the description down below to get access to this on-demand class. Coffee with Cannell. I'm here. Good to see you. Smash like, and thanks for being here. We're going to bring some guests on, and we're going to answer some questions today. We have Gina coming on in just a second, but I hope you're well. Today is water with Cannell, because I got some water with me in a mason jar, and I hope you're doing well. If you got a question, throw up 4 question marks before and after your question, so I can see that. We'll answer a few questions too, as well as bring on some guests. And if you haven't checked out that web class before, you can check that out, the free web class. As well, that details are on the screen. I see so many great ideas. You could review different children's Bibles. It's really strong. Daily mom living. I've done this and it feels good to create service content. I love it. Awesome. Awesome. So many great ideas. Can I start with a phone? Laura asks, absolutely. In fact, we have a video that will show you exactly. Heather Torres teaches how to shoot with a phone, iPhone, how to do a thumbnail that's great with your iPhone, edit with apps that are on your phone, upload it all from your phone. And so we'll post a link to that in the description, as well as in the live chat if you're here live. And so if you got a question, go ahead and drop things down. How does this apply to a podcast? I mean, directly. Our podcast, which I hope you're subscribed here on the Think Marketing channel, where this is streaming, answers specific questions. We answer questions recently. Last couple episodes have been about launching a book and lessons we've launched in a book. We also, you don't necessarily as much review products, but you certainly could. We're going to be talking about different CRMs and like online course hosting platforms. Let's talk about the difference between Kajabi and ClickFunnels and Teachable and Thinkific. So that episode ties directly into a podcast, at least for us. Now, I don't know how your podcast is angled, but again, your podcast, if it solves a problem, if it's education, you could certainly talk about what are your 5 best products in your niche. If you had an outdoor podcast, what are your 5 favorite accessories you like taking when you go on hikes? That's reviews. Teaching a specific skill. I'm going to teach you. It could be a mindset or a confidence contest. My friend John Acuff, who's coming on the podcast soon, has a book called Soundtracks, and it's about overcoming overthinking. So he gives you actually tools like, if you have a thought, you need to ask yourself 3 questions. If it's kind of a negative thought, you say, is it true? Well, it might be true. Is it helpful? It might not be helpful, but it might be. But also number 3, is it kind? So powerful insight that I learned from John Acuff, but that could be delivered in audio on a podcast. Hey, when you're, overthinking about things, run it through this filter, and he just delivered a framework. So these styles of content could be very helpful for a podcast. And there's true crime podcasts, and there's entertainment podcasts, and there's reviews of a lot of different things. Those niches are great too. I'm just suggesting that based on this video, you definitely can apply these things even in a podcast in the education niche. And with that, Gina, welcome to the show. Tell me about your channel and what your question is today.
Hi, Sean. Thank you so much for having me on as a guest. I just want to let you know that your book is the first one I read when I started this. My channel is for nursing students. It's to help them with test anxiety, and it is a review of NCLEX style questions. So I am a nursing instructor, and it's basically how I would review before tests with my students. And it's on, each one is a very short video on a very specific nursing topic. So if, like, for example, one would be on COPD, one would be on asthma, so it's just that one topic. My question to you is that I am not on the videos. I don't appear on the videos. I do it all on software on Camtasia. And the last one I did was, that's my newest one. And my question is do I need to be on camera for this type of education? Would it be better, or would it be distracting?
So that's a great question, and a question I'm sure a lot of people have. Let's just check your channel out, and then I'll drop some things. So one video published in the last month, kind of just getting started. I mean, a couple new subscribers, 53 views, and videos have been coming out. So it's YouTube, it's your tube, even though we want to make service content. You can do it in whatever style you want. You're very much answering specific questions here. And for somebody who just wants this information, I'm sure they've been incredibly grateful. Have you gotten feedback from anybody that come like, wow, this is so thankful? Like, have you connected with some people?
Yeah, I actually have a Facebook community group under the same name and a Facebook page. And we have about 89 people on the community group. And so I ask them for feedback all the time. And I've gotten a lot. I started off basically with the students from my college. That was my original niche. And then it's grown from there. And they said that it is very helpful, that they like the way it's done. They like that it's quick, that they could listen to it in their car as they're driving to school on their pods. And then they just have that one thing. If they only want one specific thing from cardiac, they can just listen to that video. If they want all of them, they can listen to the whole playlist. So none of them have mentioned that they would like to see me on the video. I just was wondering what you thought, if you thought it would help or if it wouldn't.
Yeah, so amazing. And a couple things to break down. I mean, first of all, you answered your own question there. And I just also want to acknowledge you as such a great example of what we just shared. Like, your students are grateful. You're answering specific questions. It's a resource that's there for them. They're not complaining. In fact, they love it. There's 37 likes on this video, 2,791 views. So success leaves clues, not only that this video is working, it's very helpful, but even this one continues to be watched. So you think about what other future topics could maybe relate to this dimensional analysis or other parts related to that if it was about ultimately getting more views. But I would summarize with a few tips. And that is, you're still pretty early stage in this, and you're building up your Facebook group, which I love, and you're attracting a very specific group of people. So one thing to remember when you are making progress, even if the initial growth feels slow, just keep going, because it's serving people, it's helping people, you're getting positive feedback. Do more of what you're doing. Secondly, I want to encourage you to experiment if you would want to. If you don't want to be on camera, or it's like it's just working and you like this rhythm, once you get in a rhythm, you might as well go for it. However, we should always be disrupting ourselves with experimentation. And I would even challenge everybody watching, if you're always on camera, try not being on camera. There's what's called faceless channels. Try to experiment with different content formats. It would be like a musician who doesn't play jazz, tries jazz, even if they're not going to continue to learn it or create jazz music, because it'll probably better inform them rhythmically and musically for the main genre that they typically create music in. And so trying to make a more cinematic video or trying to make a voiceover video with B-roll from a stock footage site or something for everybody watching, that's just experimenting with different content formats. Today, Omar released a video that you could do vlog videos, talking head videos, faceless videos was one of the examples. You could do a live stream. So if you never switched up your formats, try that. You could try a live Q&A like this and bring people on. You could schedule people ahead of time and say, we're going to be doing conversations about your first year in nursing. So thinking outside of the box, that it's your tube, it's YouTube to experiment. And what happens when you spend some of your time experimenting is that's research and development. That's R&D. That's when you go, oh my gosh, people love this show where I do kind of like a coffee with Cannell thing with something like StreamYard, and where I talk people through nursing and they just love how rich those conversations are. And that could lead to something else. Or you try being on camera for a while with a couple of videos and you go, did it really get different results? The results were worse or the same, or I didn't enjoy doing it. So don't be afraid to experiment. And my final thought is, again, I think what you're doing is working. And I think that some of the other things you could do is, I would like to see maybe a little bit of a pivot to the thumbnails, because they're pretty busy. And one of the things I recommend is you don't need to echo the title in the thumbnail.
Okay.
So what I mean is acute respiratory distress syndrome, and it says acute respiratory distress syndrome. So the goal would not be unlike today's Coffee with Cannell. Notice there's no words, just a question mark, and really trying to go for, the little known secret top YouTubers. So hopefully this grabs attention. And then what do you do next is you read what's on the right. This past one, a couple stats from the book and obviously words on the book cover, but I'm trying to do as few words as possible. And those words are not echoing the title. They're maybe reinforcing or reaching out to grab the viewer's attention. So you could definitely utilize some kind of stock photography site, as you've been doing in relation to things that would attract the nursing community that they'd maybe want to click on. But consider not just using any words, or just using like things that they would want is maybe easy ways to pass the test, like such and such and such and such title about accomplishing a nursing test. And it's like test made easy. Like think about a headline, like super simple. And my favorite trick for this is every time you go to the grocery store, start looking at the magazines and the tabloid headlines and little call outs, because on the headlines and the little call outs, they only have a few tiny sentences to contain a lot of information. And so it'll get your thinking while you're sitting at the grocery store. Instead of being on your phone, you could start looking at the cover of magazines to think about how to quickly communicate information. And so I think about the man with 106 babies, like, oh my gosh, 239 style tips for your work wardrobe, and it'll help you think, like, that these types of whatever magazine, they have very few words. Who do we vote for now? Whatever. And it just is the music that matters, our 2015 Hall of Fame portfolio, how to crank up your style. So maybe if the title for somebody watching in like the style niche was best spring fashion ideas from the thrift store, and then the thumbnail says how to crank up your style, with a picture. So it's not echoing the title, it's complementing the title if you do put words in the thumbnail. Is that helpful?
Yeah, very helpful. Thank you.
Awesome,
I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care. Coffee with Cannell crew. Are you going to do that next time you're at the grocery store? Are you back at the grocery store? Or are you still staying home and avoiding going out? Sasha J has a great question. I want to hear your opinion on shorts. And is that something to get into now? I love YouTube shorts. We're 3 or 4 in on Think Media now. Our goal is to do 2 a week on Think Media. Our goal in the future is to probably start a clips channel, which would not be exclusively shorts. I think that whenever a new feature comes out, it's good to use it and experiment with it. And so if you haven't checked out our other channel, we're here on our Think Marketing channel. Check out Think Media. We have a new short out today, and you can get kind of a vibe for it. I think if you haven't updated your YouTube app, and you're watching this, update your YouTube app, and you might have a shorts creator right there on the app itself, which is similar to Instagram Reels. You can actually integrate popular music, combine multiple clips and editing together, and it's going to be 60 seconds. It's going to be vertical, and you could create that on your iPhone or your Android. I'll just give it a call back, Sasha J, to the experimentation idea. I think that when you have the bandwidth, when you have a little bit of time, or just the put a little calendar block on your calendar to experiment with shorts, create a short, post one. It may not end up being something you do heavily on your main channel. And so I'll report back to you with more data. Our goal is to get over 10 posted, study them all, and we'll always report to you on the findings. So that's a good reason to always stay subscribed to the Think channels, because we like to be player coaches. We like to do the experiments, be in the trenches, see what we can learn. We want to try different shorts formats, if that makes sense. Kind of education-based ones, maybe entertainment-based ones where we just show off a compilation of the footage or photography from a camera, and then maybe use it to link to a full video about the review or details about that camera. So the 30,000 foot headline, though, is if you've got the bandwidth, absolutely experiment. But if you're also, we have not dove like super head first into them, because our main strategy is working great. It's enough, we have multiple content creators, but to create 5 videos a week and to sustain that, and their quality tutorials and reviews and so on and so forth. So it was a bandwidth question, man. Even though they're quick to make, our rhythm and the library we're building and the whole strategy of ASQ and answer specific questions and the stuff we teach in the masterclass, like that's crushing for us. So I'll land the plane saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But at the same time, you always want to be putting yourself out of business. And what I mean is, you always want to be saying, what am I not seeing that could be the next thing? So I like to spend 20% or 10% of my time experimenting on the next thing, dabbling on the next thing. I feel guilty. Let me give you one other tip. We haven't started a TikTok yet. I guess I do have a TikTok, but we'll probably start a Think Media one. And so we're going to probably eventually have shorts as maybe the way we think of shorts first. And then some of those we'll use on Instagram Reels, and some of those we'll also use on TikTok, because vertical content is vertical content. That's maybe a little oversimplified, because sometimes the music native, which platform is the best? So we're going to have an intentional strategy, not just repeating everything everywhere, but once we make something thoughtfully, we might distribute it multiple places to leverage TikTok. And I should be on TikTok, but I'm also, I don't know, I'm a dad. I got a 7-month-old. Our team's busy. We're getting there, but one thing at a time. So don't beat yourself up if you feel like you don't have time to do it all. We try to be smart. We try to do what we're doing well, and then think about how we can scale into doing what we need to do next. So with that, I'm excited because we have a couple guests coming on. We're going to have Brian on in just a second, and we're going to have Kristen Cryptic Jasmine on in a second, but we have Nada up first. Hey, Nada, where are you from and what's your channel about?
Hey, my channel is about style for women over 40.
Awesome. And did you post it in the private chat, or can I, what's it called? I want to look it up.
It's called Netta Manly Style.
Awesome. So what's your question today?
So I have been doing research, keyword research. I use TubeBuddy. I'm a little frustrated with it right now, frankly, because one of the features on TubeBuddy lately has not been working. And it's the Keyword Explorer feature that lets you import a bunch of keywords.
Sure.
So it hasn't been working properly, and so I've been having to do the keyword research myself. Anyway, when I do keyword research, I'll get like a 100 score on one of the videos, and that's not a video that ends up doing that well.
Sure.
So I'm just kind of confused. Like I just researched a couple of videos. I was just working on a couple of new ones, like 4 ways to make any outfit more interesting. So I got 100 score on that topic, but then I go in and, hey, someone said hi. I go in and I do a video about that, and I optimize it the best way that I can. I loved your tip about making the thumbnail copy different. That was so good. Because I'm, always working on that. But yeah, I just wonder why those aren't always the videos that rank really well. And if there's something that you're seeing that I can do that might change my trajectory of my channel right now. It's kind of like slowly growing at about 100 people a month, I would say. I started it about a year ago, almost exactly a year ago. And I just wanted to grow faster.
I love it. Well, yeah, let's dive in. So, keyword research is so critical. It's really, I consider it topic research, but there's also other ways to do topic research. I'm a huge vidIQ fan. And so if I think about, I'm going to go actually back to like this video just to use it as a jump off point. One tip, always success leaves clues. And it's been a year since you've made things related to body type. So it might be good to circle back. We always like to kind of remake and update our winners. If we go to Keyword Inspector here, though, in vidIQ, kind of talk about a couple things. I go by search volume, and I will be, even on vidIQ or TubeBuddy, I'm honestly, I don't worry too much about the scores. It's a tool, lets you know what the competition is. But also some of these things, these are very vague. These are a little too short. How to dress for your body type. So that's medium. There's some decent search volume, 45 out of 100. But where it would really get interesting for me is one of my favorite research to do is actually on YouTube itself. So I'm going to take that keyword that I just learned in vidIQ. I'm going to go to how to dress for your body type. And now I'm going to kind of look at the top videos, and I'm going to study their thumbnails, their titles, the video length, and think about, okay, how could I jump inside of this conversation? I also would probably use that foundationally. And now you can see, so notice I started powerfully with a tool like vidIQ. And then I found something that interests me, got that, tip 2, right? Then I took that out of the tool. Now I'm taking it to YouTube and I'm looking at some of these details. Like maybe I want to make this video because I want to go even longer than this. This is quite a bit of competition, some bigger channels or bigger subscribe channels. But now I'm interested maybe in even specific like Apple, right? So that's a body type. Hourglass, that's a body type to show your best assets. But even maybe a quiz, and that might give me an idea. Maybe you could create a quiz that could help you build an email list. These are ideas that just come to me as I'm kind of, but maybe you ultimately go female. But you said what was females of a certain age?
Sorry, it's for women over 40.
So how to dress your body type. I might end up doing like, over 40 in the title, and then try to really rank. Obviously, here's a man with the same kind of title, really a lot of views on there. And as I'm doing this now, I'm also checking out, and this is sort of the combination. I hope this comes across. Keyword research and topic research is sort of where I like to begin to start generating ideas, but I might spin off because YouTube's also very much about trending topics. And it isn't necessarily in 2021 about just exact keyword match. So like the new style rules over 40 is just a great title. And I'm like, could I do like a version of that? Could I spin off something on that? That video is doing well. So now my topic research is kind of being influenced by what's performing well on YouTube itself. What could I learn maybe from that creator? And then I also oftentimes will just use the YouTube search bar. So like women over 40, and the workout, I'll go underscore before, let's see, or I'll go over 40, fashion, And then we'll go, okay, kind of see what that is. I'm going to go underscore plus size fashion, what to wear fashion over 40, petite women's fashion over 40. So then this is sort of, you're going through exact, hey, great job. Really great job. So that's like a great example of finding like a smart idea, hitting it very specific. In fact, what we taught today, answer specific questions. This is a very specific, best petite brand. So I love that. But do you see, is that helpful at all? It's kind of like, I guess what I'm trying to say is use the tools, but also use your intuition and do more study of YouTube itself to maybe find video ideas that don't maybe fit nicely inside of the keyword tools. And when you are using keyword tools, don't be afraid of, don't even put too much stake in the score. I mean, even this, I just use this as a reference point that petite women's fashion, let's say, vidIQ in this case on the right side is telling me it's a 31 out of 100. I'm going to look at that and be like, okay, but then I'm going to look at maybe some of the channels I could study. I'm going to scroll down. Definitely, I'm going to look at the trending videos in terms of like, okay, black blazer, spring outfit. Maybe I say little liney thing, women over 40. I look at the trending videos because you want your videos to be suggested alongside of these. And YouTube really works related to trends and specific niches, secrets to wearing youthful fashion over 40 with confidence. Like even that is like,
that's good.
That's not a search term, but it's doing well. So then I dig into that video and I think, okay, what can I learn about this particular video? And traffic, the number one traffic source on YouTube is recommended videos, not search. I believe that search is the foundational place to start and even reach into recommended videos when you strategically knit the whole strategy together. So the keyword research matters, but then see how it took us to this place of trending videos. And then we synthesize that in terms of what are you inspired by right now? What do some of these videos inspire you to think about? And the final thing I'll say is, remember, suggested videos are so powerful on YouTube, and a lot of people will watch more than one video on a very specific topic. In my case, if somebody releases a new video about the Sony A1 camera, I'm like, I watch 3-4 videos about it to get different perspectives. I want to watch test photos. I want to watch the 4K example footage. I watch a review from someone I trust. Somebody catches me with the headline and suggested videos about why you shouldn't buy the new Sony A1. I got to click that too. So when someone is looking for secrets to wearing youthful fashion and a video and maybe a much larger channel is doing well, when you make related videos, your chance of showing up in suggested is pretty high. Maybe someone looks at that individual and says, I don't really look like them and my body type's not the same as them, but they see you in the thumbnail and they go, oh, she looks nice. Like maybe let me give her a try, see how that could work. Let me give her a try. They click on that and you're getting new audience because your vibe will attract your tribe. And not every, especially in fashion, different body types, different styles, different size. So someone might be super famous, but there's a trickle from their influence that could lead to you as you just are bold with your best features, your uniqueness, right? They're like, oh, cool. Like it looks like I can maybe relate. And you even think about how that's in the title, and none of that might be keyword based. It's more human based, and it could really lead to your video. So was that making some sense?
Yes, that is. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, the keyword research was kind of confusing to me. I am not ranking for any words yet, and I'm so specific. So I'm just like, it's style over, for women over 40. I'm not the only one in the space, of course, but I was just perplexed. Like, why am I not? I don't think I'm showing up in search and suggested. I don't think I'm ranking for any keywords, at least not that I can tell. And
Let me stop you. I bet you are. I'm going to show you how to look. So what you want to do is, I'm sure you are for any different. So here's a quick analytics crash course on traffic sources. So just look at your last month and the last 28 days, and it'll actually, if it says YouTube search, you are showing up in search. If it says suggested videos, you are showing up in suggested videos. And so I promise you, you're showing up in both because you are getting views. To be even more specific, this is a huge mistake people make when it comes to ranking, is they think Let me go to maybe a very search-based video like YouTube versus Instagram. So the mistake people make is they'll use vidIQ. They'll put some tags on a video. They won't see any blue ranking numbers, although this one is ranking number 1 for Instagram versus YouTube. So that's kind of the ultimate goal. But let's say you didn't see that. The question is, though, are you even using the right tags? Are you, because if they weren't there, it actually doesn't mean that the video wouldn't rank. The way to actually test things is to go into the reach of the specific video and come down here to YouTube traffic source, YouTube search, and verifiably it will tell you, even if it quote unquote doesn't rank right now, it'll say that people typing YouTube versus Instagram has gotten this 15 views. People typing Instagram versus YouTube has gotten this video 9 views. Some people search Think Media or Sean Cannell, so that's a little bit different. And then some people searching for all kinds of other stuff. This video popped up, like how to grow on social media. This video got a view. It doesn't rank for how to grow on social media, but it did at that moment, if that makes sense. So definitely, I think you're probably being too hard on yourself in terms of thinking you're not getting traffic, because I promise you are. You could check out where it's coming from in your analytics.
Okay.
Is that helpful?
Yes, very helpful. Thank you so much.
Hey, I appreciate you so much, and thanks for coming on the show.
I appreciate it. Thanks. Have a good one.
My friends, smash like if you've been getting value. Have you had an aha moment yet in this video? And we see it makes a ton of sense. I hope that was helpful. You could check your analytics channel-wide. Here's how your YouTube channel works. When you go into analytics and you click analytics, this is analytics for the entire channel. Starts over the last 28 days. This is your traffic over your entire channel over the last 28 days. So on Think Media, we get 40% traffic from YouTube search, 17% from suggested. Browse features is also videos showing up on the homepage, as well as the subscription feed, 15%, 10% from external. But notice you could also switch to lifetime, and that'll probably change. YouTube search stays pretty consistent, but drops to 39%. But remember, you can now do this for specific videos. So if you're ever judgmental of a specific video, go actually look at the real data. So let me look at a video that's a little bit older. And we'll also look, earlier we recommended how to make a video on your phone. This is the video, how to make a YouTube video just on your phone. And Heather teaches this. So when we look in here, this video has had a lot of life to it, almost 2 million views. And in this case, YouTube search was not the biggest traffic source, 10%. So this is a great example. 67.2% of the views on this video have been from this video being suggested. Views from suggestions appearing alongside or after other videos. So to break down kind of what you'll learn as you go deeper with Think, we still think that search-based content, doing topic research and keyword research and answering specific questions is where you should start on YouTube. It's even how you should continue on YouTube. But once you get some momentum, you got to tap into suggested traffic. You got to tap into trends. You got to tap into very clickable titles. And it becomes kind of understanding both is where real YouTube mastery can happen, to where, and it depends on your niche as well. To be clear, based on the title, The Little Known Secret of Top YouTubers, we're talking education channels is where there's massive opportunity. You know, a lot of people, they're not searching for certain entertainment-based content. That content is coming to them via recommendations. As an educator, as someone who's answering specific questions, reviewing specific products, and teaching specific skills, you really want to tap into a tool like vidIQ so you can make data-driven decisions, follow trends, and make related trending videos. And if you haven't, by the way, you can always try out vidIQ's, some of their advanced features, vidiq.com/think, if you have any questions about that kind of stuff. I told that we have, I said Brian's on next. So we got Brian. Brian, where are you from and what's your channel about? You're muted. Let me unmute you. You can only unmute yourself.
Okay, I'm here. Sorry about that.
My man, go for it.
Hey, I'm in, well, closest city is Panama City Beach, about an hour away from there in Florida. By the way, man to man, dad to dad, congratulations on the baby. I've been following you guys for quite some time, and it's a new life, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So the channel is about aviation. It's very niche there. So my keywords is like aircraft, airplane, pilot. That's it, over and over and over again.
Okay. What's the channel called?
Experimental Aircraft Channel.
Okay.
Yeah. So I basically cover experimental light sport and ultralight aviation. I will go to manufacturers and do kind of like a how it's made factory tour to show people, what that looks like. I'll interview people that are building aircraft at their home, hangar, kitchen counter sometimes, and do videos like that. And it's working well. I've went to 0 to 67,000 subscribers in 2 years. And I want to say thanks to you and your crew. I've watched probably half of the videos because you've got like thousands of them out there to get to where we are now. We went full time last year.
Awesome. Awesome.
That all being said, everybody who's listening, watching, you can stick with Sean because him and his crew really have some deep, meaningful content for you to watch. That all being said, I have a few questions for you. One, I thought I understood, the whole monetization thing and all that, and maybe I do. But recently I've noticed, like just in the last 3 months even, I'm just curious of how, in your mind, this works, because the payout from AdSense has gone down almost to the dollar, like 1,000. So I'm just curious, like in this space, especially because it's such a niche market, if they literally just like, all right, this is how much pie we have, and we're going to divide it up between all these aviation channels, and whatever is there. Or is it really more towards like the algorithms of the search? Because it seems like, Sean, almost to the dollar, the last 2 months, it's gone down by 1,000 and then almost 1,000 again.
How much you're earning has gone down by about 1,000 a month?
Correct.
Gotcha. Have you been tracking your revenue, CPMs and RPMs?
Yeah, that's gone up a little bit, maybe $1, $1.50, $2.
Because at the end of the day, let's break it down.
Okay.
So showing Think Media, you can see over, let's say, the last lifetime. That was a little long. That's probably too long. Let's see. Let's go the last year. You could see that our playback CPM on average over the last year has been $18. You could see that you can track literally what it is historically over the last year. We hit spikes of 25 and lulls of 15. Now, for those watching, CPM is cost per mil, which means cost per 1,000. So you make $18 per 1,000 monetized views. And that's another thing to consider. If for some reason your audience had increased usage of ad blockers, or just ads are not being served to them for some reason, that's the ad has to be actually served and seen. Now, that's not how much money you make, though. The RPM is how much money you make. And if you don't get a lot of super chats from going live, because what YouTube does is they combine all of your revenue together, which I think is kind of cool, but I think it's a little sketch because it's memberships, super chats, super stickers, which convolutes the number. I'm actually glad that we don't do too much of that. Although if you want to drop a super chat on this video because you're getting value out, appreciate it. But so this number is pretty accurate based on just ad revenue. You know what that tells me is it shows, which we have no quoted percentage, but it shows that I'm only keeping over the last year around $8 and YouTube's keeping 10. So that's kind of how that works, CPM versus RPM. And again, it's a little tough to figure that out. You could calculate it other ways as far as your estimated monthly revenue, et cetera. So if you tell me, man, every month it's going down, but your CPM is going up and your RPM or whatever, if it's staying mostly the same, then it's also, are you getting the same amount of views? Then you have to say, am I getting the same amount of ad plays as well? And so there's views versus, how many views were actually monetized is kind of the question. And then there's ways to kind of clap back to the system. And that is considering doing like multiple ad spots. So on a video like this and monetization, we have before the video, during the video, after the video, overlay, skippable and non-skippable. I do not do sponsored cards. And we just let YouTube determine it. But you see, there's actually 3 ad spots going to play in the middle of this video, which is, if YouTube ad revenue is one of the things you want to increase, that's going to be really helpful. This is a longer, free educational video. I'm sure someone could go, yeah, why are you showing me an ad? To which I'd say, dude, I just made a 44-minute strategy free video. Why don't you pay for YouTube Red, dude? You pay for Netflix. Why aren't you supporting your local creator? So
if you notice, I'm sure you have, because you look at all these analytics. I stick to a rule of try to do 20 minutes or less, right? Because it just becomes too long. People don't click on it. So 18, 19 minutes is my average. But I do sometimes 12 minutes. If you see a 12-minute video that YouTube automatically populates, you might get 3 inserts, right? 20, it could be 5 to 8. It's like, YouTube, do you want people to click off of my video because you put on 8 ads?
I haven't really seen that. Maybe that's what you see. But notice, I did not manually set those. That was a 40-minute video, and it only did 3. So, by the way, you could go in and just add 1. You could add it at a strategic place. Those things are up to you, but that would be a way to lift it. And so then you put all these factors together. What's your CPM? What's your RPM? How many views are you getting? How many ads are actually playing? Because one view could be multiple ads being served. Any feedback on that? I mean, this might be information you've known. So does that adjust what you think might be happening?
Possibly. The other thing I want to share with you here. I mean, let's back all the way out for a second here on how this works. We all get paid because people are buying ads and putting ads in front of our videos, right? And maybe and correct me if I'm wrong, this is such a super niche market of aviation, not just aviation, but experimental aviation, right? The piece of the pie is smaller. So the people that are buying ad space is going to be less than like an automotive channel. And maybe there is only so much monetization coming from that niche to put in front of my channel. So if they have another big air show to go to and they're spending $10,000 on a booth, maybe the last couple of months, they're not spending the money. Would that make sense to,
the line of thinking makes sense, but I don't think that's what's happening because I'm actually sure your audience maybe is a little bit older, 35 to 55 or old, and therefore they have a little bit more money. If this is a hobby, they almost for sure have money, or they aspire to do it someday. Therefore, a lot of what CPM is based and ad placement is based on the demographic, no matter what they watch. So if the video is monetized, movies could be showing up, movie ads, really broad at squarespace.com type of things. So if you're, I wouldn't even think I don't even think actually companies that would want to reach your audience are that smart. Like maybe 5% of them would think I should go, because they could go manually select your videos and put the right products on your videos. You're talking, I mean, you're deep in this, you're deep in social media, you're deep in that thinking. The world is a lot further behind. Like anybody watching this, like if you're like, you feel like you're too late, no, you're in a super niche subculture that's aware of CPMs and RPMs. So to that end, that would be a brilliant strategy, and someone should pay a more premium CPM if they're in the industry that would be reaching the perfect customer of watching your videos. But I would just think chances are there'd be the broad, and what is your CPM? Like, do you know what it is off the top of your head?
I want to say somewhere 750, 850.
Yeah. So that's, average is like 2 to 5. So that's already a little bit, it's edging up. Therefore, people that just want to reach a certain demo, a certain intent are going to be playing ads. So I would think unlimited ads would play in your videos. Maybe people bidding lower because of how the system works could drive that down a little bit. And it's all a marketplace, right? That YouTube is always navigating. But yeah, I mean, my thought is I would have, with what you're doing, first of all, legit, 250,000 views a month, 1,300 new subscribers, you're posting 9 videos a month. Things are going great. You've got a good momentum. I'm sure you've got a ton of super fans. The level of how you could monetize all of this, I mean, you're already full time, but I believe there's just unlimited scale in terms of monetizing in other ways. I'm definitely thinking about creating your own products or your own membership or your own thing for exclusive content. Of course, that's one way.
And we haven't even touched affiliates yet. So,
I mean,
I know. I'm sorry.
The full stack of all the different things, yeah. But also specifically, the macro idea is also going direct to the brand. You're bypassing YouTube AdSense, and it might take 12 months. That's the entrepreneur hustle of going to the air shows, going to the things. But with the numbers you already have, and with how focused this audience is, you are just in a unique position to have a lot of influence. This is interesting about Think Media is a good example. Some of the brands deals we're doing, this might be misinterpreted. We're not that big of a channel in the grand scheme of things. We're not even the way we answer very specific questions. A lot of videos get about 10,000 views. Sometimes we hit 100,000, and then occasionally we hit 500,000 to 1 million. So it's kind of a long tail. So it's not like a famous quote unquote YouTuber, again, that gets 500,000, 1 million, 2 million every upload. So you would also think we couldn't command higher dollars because of the views. No, that's not the thing. The focus of the audience, the intent of
qualified
the viewer,
customers,
qualified, because they're actually, no, I'm at Think Media because I actually want to purchase some lights or figure out what camera to buy. Therefore, the brand deals we're doing are crazy that don't map to a TikTok influencer or just a comedy channel that gets our same numbers. So I would think that that's the same thing. The type of audience you're reaching gives you a very unique opportunity of going direct to brands and starting to tap into all the different monetization strategies kind of that we teach.
On exit, can I ask you just one last really big question, important for everybody here? You've seen in the news, as well as everybody else, that big tech is in the spotlight right now. Google owns YouTube and that kind of stuff. Have you considered, for you personally and your team, maybe to diversify a little bit aside from YouTube in the event that big tech goes too much under the microscope and maybe is even taken down or split up?
100%. There's the famous book by I think founder or one of the CEOs of Intel called Only the Paranoid Survive. And so I'm a man of faith. I live with peace like a river, and live in a state, I hope, of different levels of anxiety day to day. But as an entrepreneur, paranoia is a superpower. Okay. So it's the tension between paranoia and peace. It's like, things are fine. I'm okay. I live life with an open hand in terms of money or my business or even this life. Like, this life's a vapor. At the same time, as an entrepreneur, I got my eyes wide open, man. I'm always thinking about like, who's trying to take us out? What's coming next? What if YouTube disappeared tomorrow? What if our Amazon affiliate account got shut down? That's why we have 21 different income streams. A video is coming out about it, actually breaking them all down. And it's diversification. That's why we have an email list. And so we would take an insane blow if like our YouTube channel got deleted. That's why we got two. There's a you might even know this. In the Navy, I learned this phrase. I wasn't in the Navy, but from those in the Navy, that when you're out to sea, if it came to having a backup transmission or a backup engine part, they would always say, if you have one, you have zero. If you have two, you have one. Because if the transmission blows and you only have one transmission, now you're out to sea and you have no backup. So what happens if they both blow in a row? So if you got three, you got two. So we have adopted that at Think Media. And we always say that, like, it is in terms of eventually, if you're building a team, that's why you want someone on the bench. It's just, if there's no one on the bench and someone gets taken out, maybe they get sick, maybe they get COVID, if they're out for a couple months, maybe they get pregnant, the paternity leave. This is the kind of stuff I think about as an entrepreneur. So to your point, I lean heavy in with always having optimism about my day to day, but it's not delusion. I got one eye open when I'm sleeping. Only the paranoid survive, of like, okay, what could happen next? This is why we build Instagram. This is why we're hiring social media people, work with think.com. And we're hiring different team members because we want to dominate all the social platforms. And the only way to really do that effectively and still spend really quality time with your family is by scaling up your team. This is why we have multiple revenue streams. So in answer to your question, absolutely. I actually don't really fear it, but I'm always preparing for it. And I think there's something powerful in that preparation. There's something about Joseph saving up grain for 7 years because of 7 years of famine. I'm always expecting there to be a famine tomorrow, while being optimistic that there will be no famine in the future. History has told us that there will always be a famine. And now I'm kind of ranting, but I actually am stunned that so many people live paycheck to paycheck when they don't have to, and they spend their money on dumb things, when they just think that things today, they're living today only for today, and they're not preparing for tomorrow. The way we run our finances and our economics, I think, is by wanting to have healthy cash flow and saved up cash. It's not a good investment. My cash in the bank for the business right now is hemorrhaging money. I mean, inflation, right? Like in my savings percentage in my savings account is 0.0000. So it can't even keep up with inflation. I'm sure there's things you could do to hedge against that, but having that cash is that buffer that should something happen, should all of a sudden we have a very expensive thing come our way, we have the cash so we don't have to slow down in business. So I kind of took that on a rant. But when
and that's what I'm looking at. Like, you know, YouTube is basically distribution, right? I mean, you're making good content and there's a need for it, but YouTube is distribution. Like, where else to distribute to if YouTube goes under? You wouldn't do full length stuff on Instagram. You wouldn't do stuff. Facebook has got some monetization, of course. Anyway, that's what I'm saying. Like, where else to distribute through other than YouTube?
Oh, there's tons of options. And I mean, at the end of the day, attention is attention. It could be Facebook Watch, because it has Facebook videos, but Facebook Watch is a thing, and there is some monetization there. IGTV is kind of in a sort of a lull, but it's still a thing. 10-minute video length on LinkedIn, probably not the spot. But if it's not YouTube, it's going to be ShmooTube, like #ShmooTube. Like it'll be it could be Amazon Prime. Did you know you can upload to Amazon Prime? And you jump through a couple hoops, and there's some technical things to it, but it's just another distribution channel as well. And so there will always be
the next best thing.
There'll always be the next best thing, but there'll always be consumers that want good content about things they're passionate about. And you are in a very great niche. It's a subculture. It's a real community. Seth Godin tribes. So hear me. I'm betting. Maybe I'm not betting I'm betting all the money that people know about. Always my 80%. I'm all in on YouTube. So I'm like just YouTube, and not like, even we asked about YouTube Shorts, on like YouTube native content. Boom, all in. But when I go all in, it's never, I always got the backup, right? I could always dig up the cash in the backyard. You know what I mean? I always got the extra bank accounts. So there's always the other 20%. And I think that's the best strategy. I would, if I'm you, next decade, I see YouTube going nowhere, it not being disrupted at all. I see it being broken up. Probably not, maybe. So it's like, we're aware of that. So I am all in on YouTube, but I'm always preparing and making sure I've got a lifeline or other opportunities, and whether in all the areas we suggested: financial reserves, diversification of your audience, building an email list, building a text message list. We use community, just different ways to communicate with people in case something was to get shut down. We would be devastated if our YouTube channel got deleted, but we wouldn't be dead.
Yeah, follow me for more great ideas. Yeah. Whatever platform that's on.
Yeah. So anyways, that's just a few thoughts. Is that helpful?
Perfect. So much wisdom here, people, from Sean.
My man, Brian, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for coming on. So Coffee with Cannell, smash like button. Man, we got on a rant there, but you always got to be preparing for tomorrow. Prior planning prevents poor performance. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Prepare today and plant the seeds today for the harvest you want to reap tomorrow. And I'm all in on YouTube, but I always am thinking about what's next. I'm always thinking about what could take us out. I'm always thinking about, I think you have to. That's my job. It actually is. Not only is it my job and your job as a solo creator, but it's more my job today as a CEO, as a business leader with people depending on me to live, as Gary Vee says, in the clouds and the dirt. The dirt is in the trenches, creating content, being here with you on Coffee with Cannell. The clouds is the 30,000 foot level. That's like, what's next? What's happening? What are we doing strategically? Are we prepared for the next thing? How are revenues? How's the P&L? How's profit and loss? How are things going? And trying to make strategic decisions at that level. The DJ, Tony Ariola, is on the back, knowing that I'm now late for our meeting. But I did say that Cryptic Jasmine was coming on the show. And so we got to have her on. And hey, how's it going? Where are you from and what's your channel?
Hey, Sean, I'm from San Diego and I'm a huge fan. And I just have to say thank you for all of the value you provide, but also for all of the humor, because you make me laugh all the time. And Ivan back here is cracking up too. But I'm from San Diego and my channel is kind of a style channel. Oh, my dog wants to say hi too. It's a goth and alternative style channel. And I know you're late, so I'll make it quick. Basically, I have a 40-hour job that's kind of soul-sucking, but you know, you got to do what you got to do to pay the bills. But eventually, I would love to do something full-time, more in this kind of creative field. Be a full-time YouTuber, absolutely would love it. But also, like, I have a couple interviews on my channel, just anything more in the creative space. So I guess my main question is, I am doing some experimenting. I started my channel in October of last year. I have about 220 subscribers right now. Oh my gosh, please disregard that, that one. It's all just for style. But I guess my main question is, do you think that as I'm experimenting with different things and how I can really offer value to like the goth and alt communities, is my style enough of an umbrella niche to experiment with other things? Like I have a couple Space Hay tutorials on there. As you said, like trying on clothing while I'm trying to kind of figure out my niche within the niche or niche within the niche. Do you think though that like just having an umbrella niche for now is enough to figure out how I can best offer value to that community?
100%. And here's why. Thanks so much for coming on. You're in a unique spot that I think some people could relate to. And one of the powerful things that people misunderstand is they think the niche is trying on clothes. And a lot of times the niche isn't even the style of video you do. They think the niche is a cooking video. A lot of times the niche or the niche is actually the audience that you're talking to. And so the power of this channel is this is a real movement. You know that, right? It's a real community. It's a real niche community. It's a real subculture. It's a real group of people that will relate, identify, see you in the thumbnail, see the color schemes, see the vibes, see the titles, see the keywords, and click on those potentially. So that's a very powerful thing. And for those maybe new to that idea, make sure you read Seth Godin Tribes. You're talking to a pre-existing tribe. You did not create the goth niche, right? But you're a part of that community, alt community, and you're creating content in it. Therefore, exactly what you said too, because you're at early stage in your channel, congrats, almost 8,000 views, posting videos. You've built out the momentum of even being able to create videos. I think literally I would take time, well, I'd make a list, but then I would take time experimenting with whichever one of these video ideas resonate with you. So you could keep doing the hauls. I would tap into reacts. I would react to trending things. That also could splinter off into multiple ideas. You're reacting to goth alt TikToks. That could be very big. I was watching a guy I follow react to people freestyling on TikTok, and he got my full watch time last night on my smart TV, 20 minutes or so, and I was him reacting to the TikToks. And so that's also trend surfing is what we teach. And so reacting to trends, commentating on trends, here's the key. Your niche, your subculture, your community is so clear. So anybody who's already subscribed would probably be interested or at least explore you reacting to that kind of stuff. I would potentially dive into comedy. Again, pick and choose. You might say you see channels that do like every dad at Disney and then the comedian will clip together a vlog of like things dads say at Disney, like, and I can't think of anything. I haven't taken my son to Disney yet, and I'm not in that full dad mode, but you get the idea. So you understand, here's the huge key. You understand your subculture. You understand this community. So like a video could go viral of like self-awareness of 10 funny things goth people do, you know, and you give it a shot. And here's the power of the React or more hauls or more, you know, it could be search based. It could be related to reviewing music. It could be related to reviewing a specific product that's trending in your community. So you basically have the full stack of video ideas, types of videos that you could create. And the key is you're applying it to a very specific niche. And I'm super glad you asked this question and came on, because I think people make that mistake. They think, well, I'm like a goth fashion channel. No, I think you're Cryptic Jasmine, which is actually a very good umbrella brand to answer your question, that then allows you to experiment on a lot of different things. And to the point of the interviews, 100%. And so you could interview friends or other social media influencers or whoever's been on here first. But then, of course, the interview strategy is you always can shoot for the moon with the interviews too. Who are the, there's a guy named Russell who says, make your dream 50 to 100 list. Open up a Google Excel or a Google Sheets and write down 50, and not to categorize celebrities or influencers or anybody, but you know, there's A-list celebrities, there's B-list celebrities, there's C. Break it all down. Come up with 100 names of people you'd love to interview. Could be musicians, artists. Hey, everybody watching, good thing to do. You don't have to have an interview show to bring a guest on your channel. Who's your dream 50 list? Who's your dream 100 list? And reach out to all 100, especially too, if a lot of them are A and B level influencers. You reach out to all 100, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 will say yes. And that's another video that could bring, again, key with all of this is then stage 2, you get some of the videos break out. Some of the videos lead to some exposure. Some of the videos cause some growth. And then stage 3 is double down on what's working. So you get to go on a 12 to 24 month journey of experimentation, trying different video formats, reaching out, doing some different interviews. Then what gets measured gets improved. You go back, review what's working, and then maybe shift and say, okay, I'm going to phase out all these styles. The Reacts didn't work. Wasn't really a thing for me, or they did. I'm going to phase out these experiments and really lean in to the videos that have evidence that are really helping my channel grow, resonating with people, listening the entire time to the comments and listening to the data. Comments are only one form of feedback, and sometimes they can be harmful because you read one comment that you go, oh, I need to change my whole, you don't need to change your whole strategy off one comment. If the like button is evidencing that your community likes it, you're getting, we get so, I know, you know, we upload a video and 2 people dislike it. And I know it like pops our whole day. It's like, who the heck are the 2 people that wait for me to upload the video? But do the math. If vidIQ shows it really easy. If a video is getting, even one of your videos got 83%, that's still what, like a B plus, a B? One got 89%, and vidIQ shows that one as yellow, 89%. Dude, if I got 89% in high school, my parents would have been way happier than they were, because I wasn't like, that's really good. And if, of course, you're getting in the 90s, so even if you're like, wow, 16 people dislike this, if 88 people liked it, then just follow the math. So follow the math, follow the views, follow the data. Listen to the comments, because in the comments will give you feedback about what people are resonating with, but you interpret all of it together. And from there, I would scale your channel, because I think you're off to a great start. You're in a great niche and you have a very clear brand, creative name around it. You've got momentum. Let me know what you think.
Gosh, so helpful. And I love the idea about 100, you know, the list of 100 names, and I'm definitely going to do that. And this is inspiring. Like, just hearing you say you're on like a right track, woo, that gave me a boost. So thank you so much. I'm going to keep learning, and I love being part of this community.
You're welcome, Cryptic Jasmine. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you.
Hey, Coffee with Cannell crew, smash the like button if you're getting value, and if even that last breakdown gave you any value. Today's episode is brought to you by thinkmasterclass.com. If you want to go deeper on some of this stuff and really come up with great video ideas, specifically learn 3 reasons YouTubers fail and how to avoid those mistakes, how to grow your YouTube channel this year, even if you're just starting out and you don't have any on-camera experience, and also the most recent tactics based on YouTube's recent updates, you don't want to miss that web class. We just updated it to on demand. And so sometimes I do it live. There's a replay for a while. Right now, for a limited time, it's on demand. So you can watch it at any time. Thinkmasterclass.com, link in the description down below if you want to check out that free class. Of course, at the end of 1 hour of just incredible strategic value that you can apply right now, I'll let you know a little bit more about our community called Video Ranking Academy. And maybe that's something you're into, maybe not. Either way, you got nothing to lose checking out the masterclass, and hope to serve you and help you reach your goals with YouTube in any way possible. In the future, we'll do future Coffee with Cannells, Cole and Sandy and Ivan and Jesse. I do have a meeting I am super late for, and Tony is super gracious as we are on the momentum of almost half past the hour on the Coffee with Cannell. Thank you everyone for coming on today and being a part. Good to see you, Teeny. Good to see you, Brendan Sparks. My man, someday, let's collab. Hashtag VRA fam if you're in the chat today. The question of the day is, what product could you review or skill could you teach on YouTube? We talked about answer specific questions, review specific products, and teach specific skills. So drop that in the comments or in the live chat, any aha moments that you have today. Coffee with Cannell, water with Cannell on a Wednesday. And Anointed Skin, always good to see you. Thanks so much for being here. If D's near, say what up to him. And yeah, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Michelle Tech, thanks for being here. Appreciate y'all. Keep on grinding, rise and grind. Hey, listen, be great. Remember that we're here to help you reach your goals with YouTube. And so keep punching fear in the face. Keep punching perfectionism in the face. And never forget that you gotta just press record. I'm Sean Cannell. This has been Coffee with Cannell. See you next time.